Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Life in the Jungle, Season 1, Episode 23. And it's for all the marbles. And that's the title of this show today. For all the marbles. And this is it. Super Bowl 56. We are here. This is about it's a fun time, man. It's a fun time. It's a good time to be a Bengals fan. Like I said, you have a right to be happy. Like I said, the previous week, you have a right to be happy about this. You have a right to gloat a little bit. But we got one more to get. We got one more to get, like CJ Uzama said. We got one more. And but before we really tap into the game and Super Bowl 56, uh, I want to discuss, the pep rally that we had here in Cincinnati. And for once, you know, we didn't embarrass ourselves. You know what I mean? As far as putting on the show, I thought the pep rally was really really nice. And the fact that you brought down 30,000 people to watch this pep rally, and no offense to the Rams, but it looked like they didn't have many fans at their pep rally they had at a high school. Now imagine the outcry and um, the backlash that the Brown family and the Bengals would have received if we would have had this, say, at a high school. So I'm happy, about that. It was very nice, very nice. And I was ready to run on the field when CJ Uzama ripped that brace off and threw it off. I was ready to run on the field. I was ready for the game to start then and there. But it was a good time, man. I think the boys are ready. I think they're ready to go. And I know you asked me off the record, uh, was I nervous? And I said, not yet. But I'm gonna ask you on the show now because I never got to ask you. How are you feeling, sir? Are you getting a little antsy now? You getting a little nervous? It's Wednesday.
I think antsy and anxious would be the word. I'm not nervous. This is the opportunity of a lifetime that I personally feel like I've been waiting 35 years on this planet for. And when you have Joe Burr as your quarterback, there's no need to be nervous. So I just hope the guys stay healthy. To be as young as they are, this is a very mature group. So, knock on wood, things happen, but I'm not expecting to really hear about any, curfews being violated, guys acting a fool in LA. They seem to be very much locked in on the task at hand and wanting to take care of business. They come a long way. And like you said, there's one left. And I'm really hoping that they can bring that Lombardi trophy home to Cincinnati. So, scared, nervous, no. Anxious would more so be the word. I can't wait to get to Saturday. Everybody's asking me, well, excuse me, Sunday. Everybody's asking me, what are you doing for Super Bowl Sunday? The exact same thing I did last week. Going into isolation, locking into my happy place,
Yes,
and
sir.
rooting my Bengals on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't want to change nothing up too much. Like I said, I'm hanging on. My Uno jersey is hung up. No, I know I have not washed my Jamar Chase jersey since the playoffs have started. I can say y'all can say what you want. I have not washed it yet. I will wash it after we win this Super Bowl. I'm superstitious. Wearing the same thing.
Well, I have watched mine and we kept winning, so there
Oh,
might.
I might wash my. I might wash my.
I
I
don't know
might
if we got
wash
a
my.
correlation with that one.
I might wash my. But no. Seriously, yeah, seriously. I just wanted to get here. I want the game to get here. These 2 weeks a long time. Like I said, I've never seen my team in this position before. So waiting these 2 weeks is pain. It really is pain because you want to see your team out there. You want to see your team on the biggest of stage and try to bring it back. But there's just something about it, man. There's nothing telling me that we're gonna lose this game. Like nothing
See,
at all.
that's the confidence that I need to hear. And as far as it taking long, I'm not gonna lie, this has been a long week. Last week didn't feel as long, at least to me, as this week, actual game week has. But you got to remember, like you said, we're not used to seeing this. We're used to seeing all the pregame material and content. about the other teams leading up to. I know all of Sunday, I'll probably get up early, go to the gym, and I'm back home in front of that TV because I want to watch all of this. Where the media has to talk about my Cincinnati Bengals
Hmm.
and by me being a member of the media myself and you as well, I look at stuff like that from a critiquing standpoint. Also, I want to see if it's up to par with previous years and they're giving our Bengals our just due, and if not, that's fine because Joey will go out on the field and get us our just due. But I'm just excited, so I'm not wishing the experience away. I am anxious, but I'm taking it day by day because you never know when you're gonna get this feeling again.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm taking it in stride, and I feel sorry. I really do. I feel sorry for, you know, all of us that maybe have ladies out there, girl. Because I know we've been killing them, but flat out because it's all bagels. 2 weeks. You just gotta hang in there, y'all, because this is something we've been waiting on for our whole lives. So hang hang in there with us, because I'm soaking this all in, because you never know when you get back. It's not guaranteed. I understand people saying we're playing with house money. Corey Booker here said house money. Nobody thought they'd be here now. Hey, it's like I said on the last show. You know, house money sounds good until you lose house money. You know what I mean? You always, you know what I mean? When you lose it all, regardless if it's house money or not, it don't feel good. So let's take that house money and try to double up and win a Super Bowl title, which I really do. And I will get into predictions and things later, but I just really do feel like it's our time and it's our season. I'll get to some of these comments here. My mom's in the house. Who they, mom? Appreciate you for tuning in. Uh, Joy Woods said, "Hey, I haven't watched my T jersey either. Hey, hey, whatever works, whatever works." Uh, my guy Diggy said, "Is you ready, Cam? Look, I've been ready for this, like I said, my whole life. I never thought I'll see it for a minute, cause I'm like, man, I hit 30 plus. I ain't seen a playoff win, so we got to crawl before you walk. That's always the crawl before you walk. But we just took it and started running, man. And this has been,
What
like I
what
said,
if they change the saying too? Why not us? That's how
it
I
is.
feel right now. Why not us?
Hey, it is us. I really do. I do think it's us, and I think it's our time. Diggy mentioned, did you see the Rams pet rally? Yeah, and it was nothing compared to ours. We really showed out. Um,
Now,
so
in fairness to the Los Angeles Rams, we did have a much better pep rally, as we should. You know, there are generations on top of generations of Bengals fans that have been waiting for this moment that's long overdue. So I think we were going to show more joy and adulation than LA, regardless. But I do know that theirs was for season ticket holders only, and who can afford season tickets to SoFi Stadium. So that might be part of why there was such a, shall we say, sparse crowd, out there. But I can't wait to see LA in the next couple of days as Who Dey Nation starts to pull up out there.
yeah, and I think honestly, you're gonna see, a lot of Bengals fans out there, and if it was affordable for the common person, I think Bengals would have took over LA. People don't realize is that we haven't won a playoff game in 31 years, so you don't really see how we can travel. But just seeing the excitement, bringing in Burrow and bringing in Chase, and that's when I saw us in Vegas. I'm like, wow, we travel a little bit. And then the playoffs took off when we won a playoff game and we took over Nashville, took over Kansas City. Even during the game when we was coming back, you heard who they chants in Arrowhead through the TV. That gave me chills, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. That gave me you at Arrowhead and you storming back and you hearing who they chants through the
This
TV.
whole postseason has given me chills, but there's two moments, if I can reflect for a minute, that gave me not only chills but tears to my eyes. Number one is obviously the wild card game against Oakland, and finally being able to exhale after all these years of they haven't won a playoff game, they haven't won a play 31 years they haven't, the second longest streak in NFL history, and just the joy and adulation that you felt when Pratt picked that ball off, man, and high fiving everybody in our section down there and being actually part of it. Froze to death, but did not give a damn. It was one of the best moments of my life, honestly. And I am not just talking sports. But in that AFC Championship game, listening to Joe Burrow take the field down 21-13, was down 21-3, walk in that huddle and say, when we score, we're going for two.
Mm.
Now that's legendary stuff right there. That's Joe Montana walking into the huddle saying, "Hey, there's John Candy." That's Joe Namath calling this shot before the game. You know the Don Cheadle commercial. I posted it for everybody to see. Fathers expect more when they name their son Joe now. It's all because of the NFL playoffs and because of performances like that by that man. So, I mean, there's been a lot of tear jerkers. I made a joke with one of our followers on here, Jeff. I don't know if he's here yet. My best friend, but I said, this whole Bengals playoff run is one of the only times I've been glad to be single because I don't have to apologize to anybody for all my attention going to where I feel it should be for any red-blooded American male living in the greater Cincinnati area right now. Uh, but yeah, so I'll go back to being lonely after the season, but I think that Lombardi trophy will definitely soften the blow.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely here. Antonio Strader says no house money. Y'all got a great opponent. Good fair matchup. Changing of the guard opportunity. Absolutely, we get this ring. It changes the way you have to look at the franchise. It's not that team, that organization with no Super Bowl. Been in existence for close
I
to 60
really want to
years.
get off that list really bad.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I really want to get off the list as well. And I think we have a great opportunity, uh, too. So absolutely. Let's see here. We have Victoria here says, who they?
Who
Appreciate
they?
you for tuning in. My boy James Summers says, who they, baby? It's our time to shine. It's the year of the tiger. So definitely, I do feel like it's our time. Let's see here. We have my mom. I'm about to say her full name. My mom here. Miss Chandler says we them, as Zach said. Absolutely, we are those guys, and I definitely think it's. I just feel so. I've never felt so confident in the Cincinnati Bengals in my entire life. I just think they ready, and what makes me think they're ready is this offense still hasn't blasted off like it's capable of this postseason. We've settled for a lot of threes, and even without us blasting off, you scored 26 against the Raiders. You scored 27 against the Chiefs, albeit it's overtime, but you get sacked 9 times, you still get 19 against the Titans. This offense, I feel, is ready to erupt.
It is. And they deserve a lot of credit. And just Joe being the man that he is and not making a bunch of mistakes and that steadying influence of confidence that he injects into the team just when he steps on the field cannot be overstated. But I want to talk about another element of the team that hasn't been getting much praise. I mean, people have been talking about it, but I heard even the Kansas City radio broadcaster when they did the whole mic'd up thing of the AFC Championship game going back, he's saying, Cincinnati's not in this game without their defense and the way they've been playing red zone defense
Hmm.
in particular this postseason. Even when teams have gotten down there, the Bengals have came up with some huge plays, whether it was Sam Hubbard, down there, as Kansas City was potentially trying to run out the clock and go ahead to win the game at the buzzer, down the stretch in the AFC Championship game. Whether it was Mike Hilton's play in the divisional round against the Titans, and obviously we know closing the door in the wild card game by Jermaine Pratt, holding up, the fort, stopping the Raiders from potentially scoring a game tying, touchdown. The defense is the reason why we're in this game. Defense wins championships. We've talked a lot about the offense, and rightfully so. And we have not, as you mentioned, had a tremendous performance yet that we're capable of. But this defense has its hands full with Cooper Cup, OBJ. and Matthew Stafford, and a bunch of guys, Cam Akers in the backfield. And I think it's going to be a tremendous test, but I think we're going to surprise a lot of people with how well the Bengals defense plays in this game.
Yeah, yeah, and I was able to talk yesterday on a guy, a good guy of mine's, Brian Snow, his show, Snowman in the Morning, was just able to talk about and kind of, talk about the Bengals defense because a lot of people don't know about them. And a lot of people forget, man, we talk about pass rush. We got two good pass rushers too. And Trey Hendrickson, and Sam Hubbard, BJ Hill up the middle. So we definitely have pass rush too. And
Got to
if we
rock
can
the
get
baby with BJ Hill.
right, and if we can, get Stafford off his spot a little bit, and like I said, like I said about Patrick Mahomes, he throw two or three YOLO balls a game, and you can really take advantage of it. Like that throw to Tart against the 49, he just dropped an interception. He was just standing in the middle of the field.
Oh yeah, he's due, as they would say in baseball terminology. He's certainly due. Speaking of Matthew Stafford, for turning the ball over, giving us a couple gifts, which I honestly think will happen in the Super Bowl. I could be wrong, but I think that Stafford is going to serve us up a couple. He's going to be juiced up, ready to go, and may give us an opportunity. And I'm telling you, if it happens early in the game, like it did against the Titans, where Jesse Bates reads that interception and grab one, look out, man, because these guys are a different breed of Bengals, and it's gonna get ugly.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with you wholeheartedly there. Just touched with mom comment one time. She was saying about the women comment. I watch more sports than most men. You know what? In that case, that is true
Ooh,
because, like I said, my dad taught me how to play a game. As far as my passion, just for the Bengals and everything, that does come from my mom. No doubt about it.
and don't
Let's
get yourself in trouble saying her whole name like you
I
almost.
know I'm trying to read off the comment and the names come off. I apologize, apologize if I slip up there. A good question here from Anthony Anderson. What would you plan? Would you plan to run a two back set in the spread and double Aaron Donald and you try to chip Leonard Floyd and Von Miller to try to slow down that pass rush? I say, you know, Leonard Floyd got to beat me. Uh, you know, you can't put emphasis on everybody. That's just how it is. I do say you double Aaron Donald every play. You make him work as hard as he can. Of course, he can beat him, but you make him work hard as he can every snap, every play. Um, and you chip Von Miller and you got to just try to really block Floyd if you can. But you don't want to do too much outside what you do because let's not forget, it only take 2.4 or 3 seconds for Jamar to get downfield and Burrow to take the top off. Him, Higgins, you got Boyd too. And I think this is going to be a huge Tyler Boyd game because the Rams in between the numbers, far as coverage wise is not that great, and Joe Burrow is deadly. Number one, far as passer rating and QBR rating with passes in between the numbers. So look for a Tyler Boyd sighting to have a big game here from TB.
And to piggyback on that, that's what I was going to say. A lot of teams, particularly in the Super Bowl game, because the Super Bowl is different. It's not a normal game. Once you get hit in the mouth, it kind of feels like one, and the guys get a lot of the jitters out. But leading up to it, and the anticipation, and thinking about this your whole lives, it's different. The Super Bowl in itself is a different game that you have to lock in and be ready. Even once the kickoff starts, it's a whole nother dynamic than what you thought it
Hmm.
was going to be prior to the game. And where a lot of teams get themselves in trouble is they do go outside of what they normally do and they try to reinvent the wheel. And unless somebody's game plan or what they're doing on the field is dictating you do so, I don't believe you do that, man. I think you go with the horse and the cart that got you here. And if there's a situation during the course of the game that causes you to make an adjustment, you do so. But they have to stop us just like we had to stop them.
Yep, absolutely. I agree with that. Well, 100%. Let's see here. Question. I don't even want to touch this comment here. But we said Corey Brooker said, I feel like an outside perk of this is how Cam knows a little what it's like to be a Buckeyes fan. It just feels good. Look, man. Look here. Cincinnati, okay, has provided football joy for the state this season. This football season, it has been Cincinnati, okay? So you can spill that out all you want to, but Cincinnati has gave us some joy. So give Cincinnati
I'm
the
sorry, like
credit his deserve.
that's just hilarious. I won't spend much time on it, But Mr. Brooker, I recently tried. I pressed Cam off the air. We were talking. I called him one day, and I was really pressing him. I said, "Man, why do you hate the state of Ohio?" Like, because I just wanted to know why he hates his state, and he really didn't give me a good answer. But I tried to get it out of him. But let's live in the moment and let's keep it about the Bengals and Cincinnati, which Cam is gonna do anyway. But I'll keep working on him because it is ridiculous that he hates his state.
Look, I don't hate the state. But we're not even gonna get going on this. Anyway, we're gonna keep moving on with these comments. I know we may be. Anthony Anderson says, "I know we may not be able to stop Cooper Cut, but what do you see? What do you do as see as a possibility to slow him down?" Well, with Cooper Cup for me is he gets an insane amount of targets per game, so he almost is gonna get his by default. What you want to do is really once he makes the catch, tackle him. Don't let him get yards after the catch, which he's very good at. He's good at breaking tackles. He's very shifty. So once he catches it, we have to tackle him.
And might I say, the Bengals might be more equipped to do so than a lot of the opponents that the Rams have played this year. First of all, in that slot, that battle with Mike Hilton, which is going to be one of the bigger keys to the game, Mike Hilton is going to put hands on Cooper Cup. And any of that underneath stuff and drag routes and stuff, I do believe Mike Hilton can hold his own in those positions. Now, Cooper Cup is Cooper Cup. But as far as having a slot corner, a nickel corner, we have one of the best in the game. So I'm telling you that Mike Hilton will win some of those matchups, particularly on the underneath stuff. Now I do worry as they move him around a little bit. Speaking of Cooper Cup, and then they try to get him in them seam routes and get some fade routes going. Then we have to rely on help over top. But again, have the best safety duo in the league, in my opinion, who can, help with some of that slack, whether it's Von Bell coming over, shading over, or, my man Jesse Bates playing center field back there. So there are going to be opportunities for the Bengals to win. There are going to be opportunities for the Rams to win. I think it comes down to who takes care of the ball best. And when there are plays to be made, who makes the play?
Gotta make them. Gotta make them. Uh, let's see here. We have Joey Wilder said if we could run the ball to slow down that pass rush, we gonna spank that ass. Ramsey cannot guard Chase one on one. I do think the run game is a huge factor, because
Jody,
they're going to want to pin their ears back, and we run that stretch, zone,
Jody,
which can get, we can have some holes there. So I really do want to establish the run game, but once again, like I always say, it's going to come down to nine making the plays, and I just think he ready. I think he ready. The way he carries himself, man, is just I feel like we ain't gonna lose, and
Joe is
that's
so cool, man. You know, I like to think that I'm a pretty cool brother myself, but the way that Joe walked on the field at that pep rally, I know you saw it because you were down there, and then they put it on slow mo on the Bengals IG page and other social media outlets. He walks around with the same coolness that he plays the game of football with. There's never a situation where you go into it thinking, "Oh, this is moments too big for Joe," or "Will he rise to the case?" That's why I'm laughing at people because whether it's Keyshawn or the rest of them or Jeff Saturday, making his predictions. I'm like, you guys don't understand, and you must not watch Joe Burrow. Even going back to college when he actually did get in the game at LSU and play and win a national championship, like he plays better in these moments. Other quarterbacks shrink. He has that it factor and that intangible quality that you can't mark with analytics, which is another reason certain people don't get it these days, where he rises to the occasion. Joe lives for this. I watched an old video at LSU, not to get too far off track, but I've had this discussion with you. My high school quarterback, Daryl Fullen, DJ had, comment, man, he's not, you can't claim him. He's not a Buckeye, and da da da. I said, look, I'm not getting into that. Joe has said what he said. He said he's a Buckeye. He said he's an LSU Tiger. He holds degrees from both places. He has love for both places, just like Andrew Whitworth has love for the Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. So what I will say though is everything that Joe Burrow went through, whether it's being passed over by Nebraska, not even offered a scholarship, going to Ohio State and told he was nothing more than a clipboard holder, and missing his opportunity once JT Barrett did graduate, he said it. He's like, all this stuff motivates me to this day. We made the comparison to Tom Brady. And I know some people say that's blasphemy because he hasn't won anything yet. We're talking about leadership qualities. We're talking about not messing up in the clutch. We're talking about that competitive gene. We're talking about the chip on the shoulder, more importantly. Joe Burrow said, I remember every scout that told me I wasn't good enough. And he said it without blinking. He hears all of this stuff. He needs all of this stuff. I know Michael Jordan used to make things up in his head to get pissed off about before
Yep.
taking the court in basketball. Like those guys that have that mentality are just built differently. And
Yep.
Joe is that guy. So I'm really not worried about it. Like I said, if something goes wrong, I just highly doubt that it will be at the hands of number 9. And that's all you need going into a game, is knowing that you're going to get solid quarterback play and good leadership, and let the rest take care of itself.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And how we was talking about, possibly shut down the Rams. Antonio Strader says, Patriots a method. Shut down the number two, then let Cup do what he will. If OBJ gets 100, then it's gonna be hard to beat them. Yeah, I mean, I can see that in a sense. But I'm trusting Dirty Lou to cook something up. He can cook it up against Mahomes. He should be able to cook something up against the Rams. Uh, I just trust this group. You know, I really do. They've been focused all year. Um, and I just think it's our time. We got the momentum. Of course, the Rams are feeling good, but I feel like the Rams feel like they could take a deep breath. All of a sudden, it's just like since they dodged the
Yeah,
Chiefs,
I don't
it's
think that
almost
they
like it's like,
can.
we ain't got the Chiefs, so cool.
Yeah,
Like,
I
you know
don't
what I
think they're
mean?
taking the Bengals that seriously. I think that they are, taking some solace in being able to sleep in their own beds at night, out there at LA. There's a lot of things that would lead me to think that they might be underestimating the Bengals a little bit. But I mean, they watch film too, and they know how dangerous the Bengals, could be. I really do think it's going to be a good, football game, either way. But the Patriot method, getting back to that comment, is really Bill Belichick always takes away what you do best,
Yeah,
and makes you come up with another way of doing it. So, whether that's doubling, Cooper Cup, I, this might sound blasphemous to a lot of people, but I know OBJ has had, sort of a revival of sorts, and I'm glad that he, is not finished and has enjoyed, playing football again after the whole debacle in Cleveland. I'm honestly not that, and I'm saying that worried about him to the point where I would dictate any of my game plan to having to shut OBJ down. I think he's gonna win some one-on-one situations, but if Awuzie is over top of him, I think he's proven all year that he doesn't do bad against whoever your number one wide receiver is. Now there was the one, where Devontae Adams kind of gave him the biz when we played, the Packers. But as I think we both said at that time, Devontae is or was the best wide receiver, in the league. So take that with a mulligan. Um, if I don't think the Bengals need to go out of their way, as we said, offensively or defensively, to beat this team. I think you do have to locate Cooper Cup pre-snap. I think that goes without saying. But other than that, I really don't think that they need to change anything or their identity. I don't see the Rams running the football that effectively on the Bengals. That's something else I wanted to mention. The Bengals have been really stingy against the run all year. and I was a little worried when Ogunjobi went down in the wild card, round up front. But that still has not been an issue. So um, we've got just as many advantages as the Rams are purported to have by outsiders. So I'm feeling good about this.
Yeah, yeah, I'm feeling good as well. We got a comment here. It says, Mixon's gonna run for 80 plus yards. Uzama's a big key chip in the edge with Von Miller. Boy would be a good, be a huge this game with quick hitters. I mean, it's a lot of stuff, we were commenting on. But yeah, Hilton, definitely can guard Cup. I mean, Cup's just like I said, he gets so many targets, he's gonna get his. But I think Hilton will make it very tough on him. James Summer said if you can contain Tyreek Hill, we could do something possibly with Cooper Cup. It's just a little bit different because they really force feed Cup, but that's where you can get one of those YOLO balls where Matthew Stafford like to throw it up, and you can take advantage of it. So I'm definitely, excited about the opportunity because I think the secondary will have an opportunity to make plays. But no one's talking like no one's talking about everybody's talking about Jalen Ramsey. Let's dive into the secondary of the Rams. Outside of Jalen Ramsey, they secondary stink. Let's be frank. Let's be straightforward. Let's be honest.
And
They
I think,
brought OG old head Eric Weddle out of retirement for the playoff.
well,
Like
they
that's how they felt about their position. In the
Well, they had to do that because, in fairness to the Rams, they did lose their starting free safety in Jordan Fuller. I won't say what school he went to,
Oh
but
man.
but listen, it was a position that they had to address when Mr. Fuller went down. So apparently they thought Eric Weddle would be, the best
Eric
option.
Weddle's cook food Sunday.
I think so. I think he will be. And that's the thing that I guess certain people are coming around, but others aren't. You really don't understand how dynamic this Bengals offense is till you get on the field and they get in a rhythm. And it's like, oh snaps! Like who do we stop? Where do we go first? Like when they're humming, particularly like when we played Kansas City in Week 15 during the regular season, and you saw Tyler Boyd eating, you saw Uno eating, you saw T Higgins. There was nothing that they could do. And then we had a few comments on here about getting Jodine going in the backfield, which I think is really critical. Because once he starts getting going, I'm sorry, it's lights out. You can talk about the Bengals offensive line if you want. Those are too many weapons. You can't stop everybody.
Yep, yep, absolutely, absolutely. Now I'm gonna ask you one question before we, make our predictions and everything like that. Um, if there was one thing outside of the defensive line for the Rams and the offensive line for us, what is one of your concerns, if there is anything that you have that may plague the Bengals or make it a little bit harder than what it needs to be?
Uh, I have two small concerns. I don't remember the exact graphic or stat, but I know in games where coaches are facing their protege in a Super Bowl, it usually goes towards the teacher as opposed to the student. So I'm hoping that Zach has established himself enough and done enough tweaks to his game plan where McVay doesn't go out there similar to, I believe it was the '02 or '03 Super Bowl where John Gruden basically knew everything that Callahan, our current offensive coordinator, Brian Callahan, his dad, was throwing out there, then head coach of the Raiders, because he knew what was coming. I don't want to see that. And I have enough confidence in Zach at this point that I think they will switch it up enough. And he's established his own identity, and Joey B at the line of scrimmage can improvise. So that concerns me just a tad bit if you know what's coming and the familiarity with each other. We actually fell victim to that in '88 also with our own Sam Weiss going against his former boss in Bill Walsh. So it can happen, but I'm hoping this is a different scenario. And number two, with the Bengals being the home team, and I'm going out on a limb on this one, why didn't we wear the all white? We had something cooking in that. Now, don't get me wrong, the retro style with the black jersey, white pants, orange socks. We did beat the Raiders. wearing that. So I'm not necessarily worried about that. But there was another graphic about teams wearing white versus dark jerseys, and it was overwhelmingly in favor of the teams that wore white in the Super Bowl in recent years. So just a couple trends that I don't think will stick to these current Bengals because they've been trend setters and curse breakers the entire year, so to speak. But those will be my two main concerns.
Yeah, I mean those are definitely legit concerns. Um, and that was a big my main one, and you said it. Zach Taylor versus Sean McVay. Um, because obviously it's similar things, but I think we've changed with Joe Burrow. We changed it up and put a lot of his stuff that he liked to do at LSU. So I'm hoping that that tweak and that change is enough to keep them off balance there. Also because they have that same type of zone blocking scheme as well on as far as running the ball. So it'll be interesting to see the chess match between the
Mhm.
two. Um, but our coaching staff has been good. We can give them, we've been giving them a little bit rough time. Especially the first 2 years, Lou and Zach. But um, the changes were made amongst the assistants, like Marion Hobby being hired as the D line coach was a huge upgrade, getting the most out of those boys.
Yep.
Even Frank Pollock, we don't have the best five offensive linemen in the world, but um, Jodine was the third leading rusher this year. A lot of people don't talk about
Dean.
that. So a lot of that's on the line. So they done some good thing. Obviously, a lot left to be desired when including the playoffs or quarterbacks being sacked 62 times. That's something that you don't want to happen next year. But we this year they have to block. They got to simply line up their R5 against their four, and we got to block them up front. We block them up front, great things will happen. Um, all right. Like I said, we're not gonna bore you to death. We're not gonna keep blabbling. It's prediction time. Super Bowl 56. And it's your turn to go first this time.
I thought I went first last
No,
time.
you always say that every week. I thought I went first. No, it's your turn. It's your turn. Uh, Super Bowl 56. Cincinnati Bengals versus Los Angeles Rams. Give me your prediction.
I'm not
Oh,
even going to babble this time. I'm just going to go straight in. 24-17 Bengals.
24-17 Bengals. I like that. Look, I'm gonna talk a little bit because I've been thinking about this. Originally looked at the scale, looked at the matchup. I'm like, it's gonna be a close game. I think it'll be a one score game. Obviously, it's the Super Bowl, not too many blowouts. But I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling really really good. And like I said, this Bengals offense have not blasted off quite yet. And if you just change even two of the four field goals we kick in a game into touchdowns, we're dropping 34 to close to 40 points. I think Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase on the biggest stage is going to show out just like they've been doing in college to now. I got the Bengals winning 35-24. I got the Bengals winning pretty comfortably. I think it's our time. I think it's time to show the world, the NFL, all the pundits that this ain't no fluke. We gonna win this one. We here to stay, and when we gonna have about $60 million in cap space to improve the offensive line and keep building. And like surprisingly, Keyshawn Johnson said, if we win this first one, we might be headed towards
Woo woo.
a Cincinnati Bengals dynasty.
Woo woo.
Something I never thought I heard myself say. But when you in year two of a quarterback rookie deal and you can build around him, you win this one. You got a chance. I know it's so hard to get back, but you got a chance to build something special over the course of the next 10 years.
That's why it's so critical for them, and I think they know this again, but to take care of business on Sunday. All starts and ends with this game on Sunday. We can't even speculate or talk about future dynasties until you start the first dynasty. Got to win on Sunday.
Win on Sunday, get that first one, and keep that ball rolling, baby. But guess what? It's going to be beautiful to hear the Cincinnati Bengals are your world champions. We going to hear it, Cincinnati. That Lombardi trophy is coming home. And I'm going to be at the Banks that Wednesday because the mayor already done set it up. He's going to be on a Wednesday. And guess
Oh
who's going to
yeah.
be there on a Wednesday?
Oh
It's
well,
going to be me.
we both gonna be
Celebrating
there.
at the parade, turning up, having a great time.
You
It's
can
our
catch the
moment. It's our
Pharaoh
time.
at Holy Grail and any other bar serving alcohol that Wednesday downtown on the bank.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. But hey, we both got us winning the Super Bowl. You got 24-17. I have 35-24. I think it's going to be a little bit of a shootout, but I think the Bengals are going to roll. And that's it. And we'll have one more episode of season one, Life in the Jungle, next Monday. Hopefully, we'll be all smiles, cheering, happy, talking our trash. But regardless, win, lose, or draw, I firmly believe the city of Cincinnati will never ever forget the 21-22 Cincinnati Bengals.
Never.
And on that note, we out.